guys, so we got the wing completed. Now we need to go ahead and install this onto the fuselage. Alright, so first thing is first, and that is to ensure that the wing is placed on there as centered as possible, right? With the guide marks that I had on here earlier, right? Also, make sure first of all that your work table is flat, straight, and all that stuff. All right, make sure you sand the bottom of the fuselage, or should I say the top, but the center deck here. Make sure that all that is flush, sanded. There's no CA, globs of glue, blah blah whatever that may cause it to lift up or so, slightly. All right, because then that will lead you to a uneven aircraft, and all your measurements will basically will place this wing crooked. All right, so next thing we need to do after we get all that done is pretty much put your wing onto your fuselage, onto the table, and we're gonna go ahead and measure the distance between both wing panels in relation to the work table. All right, so what I'm going to do here is first you can sight it from the rear. All right, you can pick a point anywhere on your wing. I choose to do number 11 rib right up front, so this one right now is at the cap strip. It's exactly 2.5 inches from the tabletop to the bottom portion of that cap strip. All right, so 2.5 inches. Going on to the other side over here and doing the measurement as well in the same area, exactly 2.5 inches. All right, so we got that going on. We know for a fact that both wing panels at the ends at rib number 11 is at the same height off of your building table. All right, next we are going to get the wing, laterally in relation to the fuselage type deal. All right, so we got a T-pin right smack at the center. All right, the T-pin right here is going to be the rear center of the aft portion of the fuselage. I'm going to utilize my tape measure. You can use a string. Now the string, you have to be very consistent with the tension on the string. If you end up stretching it too much, or you have a little bit of sag, right, that will also throw off your measurements. Well, in this case, I got a ruler or a tape measure, keeping it nice and straight, pulled tight. I'm going in the inside corner of my trailing edge, the aileron area right here. I'm going to put this very tip right here at this end of the tape measure, right at that corner. All right, that's going to go into that corner slot there. All right, and that's going to be the same area on the other side of the wing panel where I'm going to be placing that in. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and keep my tape measure nice and straight. Go straight to the T-pin, and I'm at 45 3/4. Over here, do the same thing. Right at the tip, the corner. Keeping my tape measure nice and straight. And we got 45 3/4. We're good. We got a good tolerance on that. We're fine. All right. And so we got the wing now set as far as the height between the two wing panels, from the height tabletop to the bottom of the wing at a whatever location you decide to choose to measure from. We also got the placement of the wing onto the fuselage, or incidence. I guess that's how you would call it. Alright, so to do that, we need to verify the trailing edge and the leading edge of this wing. Alright, so the complete center of the trailing edge right now is exactly 4 inches. So at the given mark at the front of the leading edge here, that should also read 4 inches. Alright, so we got exactly 4 inches up front, and that basically says that the wing incidence or indents is set at 0. Alright, so we can go ahead. I got tape here locking it all down so it doesn't move on me, because this is my final checks. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drilling right through, utilizing a 13/16 drill bit first. And then once we drill this all the way down through the wing bolt plate and also the wing bolt block, we'll remove the wing, and then we'll complete the hole in the wing bolt block with a 1/4 inch drill bit, and then we'll tap it. All right. So we are going to put on the chin plate. Well, I think that's what it's called. Chin block. Alright, so we got that all glued up. We got it all measured out as well. Alright, like that, which we got taped off. I went ahead and I sprayed it black. And then we're going to go ahead and brush on some resin on top of this to fuel proof the area. Also did the inside portion, and that's where the gas tank is going to be located and situated. So yep, we got that all painted up. We're just going to wait for this to cure, to dry up, and then we're going to go ahead and brush on some resin. All right, just to fuel proof this area. All right. What I'm doing, I already had tapped this yesterday, but what I did last night was I put a few drops of thin CA in the threaded holes, let that cure overnight, And then now what I'm doing is I'm utilizing the tab to clean the threads out. And while the ply is completely saturated with thin CA, what that does, it hardens those threads that were cut into the plywood, making it really strong. All right. So we got the bottom belly pan, however you want to call this, pretty much done up. Alright, so that's pretty much how it looks at the moment. Just rough shaped right now. So we got that going on, and now we need to start on the top portion of the fuselage. I'm not even going to do the fillet yet for the bottom belly pan, this area yet. We'll wait until later. If you notice, I did not bevel this or make it round just yet. I'm going to wait till later. Alright, so we're going to do the top portion of the fuse, the turtle deck. Pretty much all that. And then once we're done with the turtle deck, we're right at the front, finishing it all up. Getting the whole front cowl portion done. Then we got to do the actual wing fillet, and then the actual fin block, and mounting the actual horizontal and vertical stab and fin. Alright, so almost there. So there you go.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out.
Alright guys, so we are making some templates so that we can cut out the proper pieces that we need here. Now with this section here, we have to be able to remove the engine mount, the engine and engine mount through this hole. So we're not really going to be able to make this hole nice and, you know, really tailored to this engine cylinder head, because we're going to really need that base down there to be able to get to the screws, therefore removing this engine through this hole. So at the end of the day, we're going to have to just make this as big as we can. I know it's going to take away a little bit of the looks, but it's not going to look bad. All right. Alright, you guys, so I'm utilizing my rasp to just open this up even more. Okie dokie. That's my hole. Now we're just gonna double check and make sure that we can take out the engine mount, and also can we install and remove the engine with that hole. If not, then we're gonna have to make it bigger. All right, so at the rate we're looking at here, you see how that we're not gonna be able to clear that. All right, so we're gonna have to make that back end. We're gonna have to just open that up. Really hate to do that because it really, it takes away, but we really need to be able to get in there. So we're just gonna have to open her up even more. Alright, so that's pretty much where we're going to be at. Let's go see if we can get the engine back out. Okay, what am I hitting on? Alright. At least we know we need to cut that open even more. So we just got to get all this. We don't need this anymore. This whole piece. Let's go back on this side here. Getting any dust into the engine. Alright. Okay. We're able to install that engine. Okay, so this is pretty much where we're at. Alright. It's not that bad. You know, preferred it a little bit tighter in there, but it'll work. Alright, let's go see if we can remove the engine. I don't think we can remove it with these screws in there, so we're gonna have to pump these guys out. Go. We're good to go, and of course that engine mount will be able to get removed from this hole, and we just use this to go in and loosen up the engine mount, which we're going to take out because we're going to have to go in here and paint this all up and then fuel proof it and all. Alright, which eventually I'll do later after we form everything. But in the meantime, we also have to add some triangle stock in these corners here, right here and here. We already did the others. Alright, so we're gonna have to kind of fit this in there, kind of up in there. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. Guys, so we got the main fuselage pretty much shaped and sanded and shaped, however you want to call it. Alright, so here we go. We got the front portion, the nose area. Tried to do the best that I could, you know, and yeah, that's what we got. Still need a final sand all this, you know, eventually. It's gonna have some hanger rash here shortly. We'll keep moving this thing around, but yeah, here we go. We got the mocked up tail block, fin fairing block going on here. All right, this is the actual block we're going to be keeping, the one in the middle here, which is I don't know if you could see that right here. we're going to be shaping it like that. We're only going to be taking that wedge there. So this block right here, this is just your filler block to mimic or imitate the vertical fin and horizontal stab. All right, so just makes it easier so you can shape it together with the fuselage and then pull it off. It's tack glued on there. All right, and then we'll pull it off, and then we'll go ahead and situate the vertical stab and or horizontal stab and vertical fin on here, epoxy measured and everything like that, and then we will cap it off with that fairing. And after we're done with that, we will do the last part of this build, which will be the wing fillet. All right, so we're gonna build the fillet, and once we're done with the fillet, everything is just left up to sanding. So we got to finish final sanding the wing. I still got to do the wing tips, the belly pan portion right here. Got to round that off a tad bit to match the rest of the fuse. But other than that, that is pretty much the Great Plains Ultra Sport 1000. All right, cool. But anywho, here's the other side. All right, guys. So we got the fin fillet basically shaped, sanded. Now let's just see if we can actually remove it from the fuse now. All right, there you go. Awesome. Cool. So we're just going to go ahead and sand that piece. Alright. Now, hopefully we can take this apart as well without breaking it. That part. There you go. And we got two. Alright. That was a pain in the rear. There you go. That is the fillet. Alright, guys. So we got the horizontal stabilizer basically epoxied on here. 30-minute epoxy. Alright. So it's on there, and from there, once this is dried, we will drill that with the 1/8 drill bit, and then we'll put a washer with the wood screw. We'll also put 30-minute epoxy on that wood screw, and that will get screwed down into the hardwood block that's under there, underneath the base plate. Alright, so we're just gonna let that cure. We're not gonna mess with it. We already got that going on. Once all that is good to go, we will then glue the vertical fin and rudder, and then we'll go ahead and cap it all off with our fillet, left and right. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and drill down right here. There's a plywood block right under here. .1/8 drill bit. Alright. So we got that drilled down. Now we got some 30-minute epoxy. And we are going to take 30-minute epoxy and kind of smother this screw that's good enough. Insert that screw down there, and then we will screw this down. Do it like that, and then I'll come back by hand. Oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere, and if it does, then it was meant to be, if you know what I mean. Alright. Take off these T-pins. We can go ahead and start situating the vertical fin. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and mark this out so we know where we have to cut the notch, and then we also need to sand a little bit off this front, that way it can Alright, so we got the vertical fin notched out for the washer and the screw. Alright, so we can go ahead and place this dead center. It clears the washer and the screw, and there you go. It looks as if we still need to go a little bit forward. Probably gonna have to go, yeah, looks like I still need to sand this a little bit more forward. Alright guys, so we got the vertical fin installed. Basically 30-minute epoxy, currently curing at the moment, you can see. Oops, let me go move that around. Alright, so there she is on that. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and do the optional part here, which is the last part I'm going to be doing for this Great Plains Ultra Sport 1000 build. That is the wing fillet. Alright, so we got this 1/64 ply wing fillet base that comes with the kit. Went ahead and I did the measurement from the back end here of the trailing edge, basically From there to here is about 1 inch, 1 3/4 inch as far as length protruding back. All right, and then kind of swoop upwards a little. All right, went ahead and did a little CA on here, and also covered the wing with cling wrap all the way through, so that way you don't get any chance of CA going in and locking this wing to the fuse. Now use the CA very sparingly. All right, so with that said, I got some blocks of soft balsa, and I'm going to be putting this on here like such. All right, just kind of building it up type deal. I'm going to eventually cut it so it can follow the curvature, and it's just nothing but scrap. Check it out, scrap soft balsa. Don't use anything hard or hard grain or anything like that, because you're gonna have a tough time. Yeah, and then from there we're just gonna go ahead and start sanding it and getting it to the proper shape and contour. Now, easier to get this outline that you see on the on your plans or your instructions, right? Get this outline on the top portion, get that all situated first. All right, you already got the outline for the width portion of it, but you need to get that outline for the top piece, especially if you're going to utilize straight balsa all the way through. Right, if you're, more or less, if you're going to use a filler material, like let's say 30-minute epoxy and micro balloons or something like that, go ahead and tape off that line. That way you have that as a reference. At the same time, it provides a clean edge. All right, so same thing, even if you're going to use balsa like this, I'm going to go ahead and tape out that line to get an idea, and then I'm going to start shaping my block pieces before I even attach it on there. I'm going to actually shape it to that contour. All right, that way all I have to do, concentrate on, is actually just sanding that radius there. All right, so yep, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that. And there's different ways in doing the wing fillet. Like I said, you could do half and half. You could do some balsa material in between, just to kind of fill this void up right here in the center, and then you can use some 30-minute epoxy, micro balloon mixture, or lightweight wood filler, or you can go ahead and do the full balsa itself. All right, or you could just use straight micro balloons and filler without using any balsa. It's up to you how you want to do it. All right, guys, so you can see what I got going on. So I'm taking the blocks that I'm cutting, just basically making a good chunk out of that block, and then from there we'll go ahead and sand it. I'm utilizing just basically some 80 grit sandpaper around a pipe to get that started right now, or depending on how big of a curvature I need, basically we'll wrap it around a spray can, you know. Just basically looking for whatever I can find around the shop to give that curve, right? And it's just the initial curve right now at this point, and then once everything is all glued in, we will tailor everything and smooth everything out so it's all even from back to front, front to back type deal. As you can see, everything here is just all just plopped on there. So I am doing all the shaping off the plane at the moment, at least the initial start of it. All right, and see right here, this is not following the line at the moment, so I'm gonna have to kind of trim that top end of these blocks. That way we at least stay underneath the line, or at least on the line. Everything else, a little deviations and stuff, we can use wood filler and then just, you know, kind of fill that areas in. So it's not bad to use filler, not bad to use pretty much anything really. I mean, it's just how to get the contour and the look that you're after. Alright, so right now it doesn't look like much. It looks like a mess, but once everything is done, it's gonna look pretty good, hopefully. So we're gonna go ahead and trim that, and then we're just gonna continue on. And once we get all that, we'll start gluing it, and then alright guys, so this is what we got. We got all the blocks basically somewhat shaped leading up to the front. Now they're not all glued in, so they look like they're lifting up and everything, because they are. I need to actually glue it down and situate it, but I still have to get that outline up top. But as you can see, the vast majority of this fillet is going to be majority wood, light balsa. That way it's easier to shape all the way to the end. And then as well, the bottom, once I'm done with everything, we still got to do a fillet. We're not going to do it out of wood. We're just going to use wood filler from the belly pan. There's going to be a fillet that goes and connects to this edge, and it kind of connect together. All right, so we have to build a little, like a stopper right here in the shape of the fillet itself. That way we can fill the bottom section with micro balloon filler to kind of mate up together with the belly pan. You'll see once we get to that stage, but right now I just want to kind of share that. All right, but there it is. We still got to glue this on, and then we will shape everything to make everything all in line with each other. Alright guys, so what we're doing now is just putting a very thin layer of wood filler. Alright, just real thin. It's just to kind of bridge the all the small pieces of wood that we had made, we cut, just to bridge them together, make it look uniform. I did sand it, as good as I could do, get it smooth. So it is what it is. Doesn't hurt to use a little bit of wood filler, as you can see right here. So all I'm doing is putting a thin layer, just like so. Alright, and what that's gonna do is gonna allow me to blend everything in nicely to the fuselage. As you can see right here, this edge, we're just gonna lightly kind of build that up like that. We're not caking it on, in other words. Alright, so there's no caking on wood filler here, just a thin, like, it's almost like a skim coat, if you will. Just like that. Alright. Get that back side there. And the wood filler I'm using, guys, is been using this one since it came out, really. I'm using this right here. This is plastic wood. Monocoat sticks to it fine. I have no issues whatsoever with it. And I actually, matter of fact, I glassed over this too. So you just look at the P40 build, my Cessna build. Oh yeah, I used them all there. So for me, it's tried and true. thin layer, just to help transition everything nicely. We got this one right here. I think that will work right there. That's it. All this right here we gotta work with once I do the bottom side, because we still gotta finish this rear fillet area. So there's gonna be another bottom piece that kind of caps that right behind the trailing edge. All right. Guys, so we got the fillet for the left hand side just roughed in right now. I put a little thin layer of wood filler just in the perimeter there, just to kind of blend it all in. So we're just waiting for that to dry. Once this dries, then we're just gonna go ahead and lightly sand that and smooth everything out. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and take care of the other side. We're still going at it. For the most part, I'm just gonna get over here, kind of blend this edge here, kind of swoop it into the side of the fuse. Then we got this right here where it kind of was a little short. It's alright. We put a little bit of you could take a piece of balsa and actually just cap it and then sand it. Alright, but for the most part, that's what we got going on for this right hand side wing fillet. And it was just as easy as that. It's gonna fine tune everything, get all this edges nice and clean, and then sand everything else to match the other side. All right, and then we'll go ahead and put a very light skim coat of wood filler just to blend everything else in and call it done. So just be just like the left hand side here. All right, so this is the left hand side wing fillet. All right, cool beans. Alright guys, so you got the right hand side fillet, all the triangle stock up front, cut into small segments so that it can follow the bend or the curve. Alright, and yeah, it is what it is. Trying to get it to match up with the left hand side is, yeah, it is what it is. Alright, we'll try to get it as close as we can. But if it's not exact, it doesn't matter. As long as when you look at it from the front view, it kind of looks symmetrical with each other, right? But so I got this was his 80 grit sandpaper on a 1/2 inch dowel, and I'm just going like this, and I'm just gonna give this a light, you know, sand, just to kind of bring all this together and also develop that little swoop in the front part of this. Alright. And also, before I do that, I don't even know, I should have done that first, is basically trim the bottom side. Alright, I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if you can see that. This is the base, and you can see the excess material that we got going on there. Alright, so we need to take care of that and take that off before we start trying to make any type of shape in here. Alright, now we got the full now we actually got the actual shape of it as far as the thickness. Alright, so we got that going on now. Now we can actually finish this off by using the dowel. Alright, just finish this off. Just like that, just little by little. We're not rushing anything, and we're just trying to get this nice little swoop, you know, and try to match up to the other side as well, which is kind of hard to see, but it is what it is. Alright, my dowel here is just a little big to get down to this port, but it's alright. The main thing I'm trying to do also is be careful is not to use the dowel on the actual side of the fuse, because then we'll end up making some sort of indentation. So just being very mindful of that as well. Yet we're trying to get very close to the edge there so that we can have a nice taper into the fuse. Alright? But we're not trying to make an indentation on the actual fuse side itself. So just take it nice and slow. This side so I can kind of move around. The last part of this build. So excited. Alright, so the Great Plains Ultra Sport 1000 is basically done. As far as the construction is concerned, the build is done. All we need to do from here is final sand the fuselage, the wing, and tack it roll up. Basically get it ready for covering. And there's the Ultra Sport 1000.